Hey guys, it's Telarius here. Just wanted to go over some BFA PvP talents and talents in general for dueling and 2v2 and 3v3. It's very different from what it once was, but hopefully this will help you. I'm going to leave a legend up on the screen right now so you guys can just jump to whatever part of the video you prefer. So we'll start with the 99 talents Blind Fury. It's strong. It's better on beta than it is on live right now during the pre-patch because of the Azurite traits you get, which buff your I-beam even further than what you normally do. However, it is a decent talent with how they changed I-beam. I-beam, they made it so it does more damage single target to whoever your main primary target is, 50% increase, which is quite strong, but overall it's not going to be the best talent you can take. The next trait, and I could be wrong with this, I haven't done a lot of testing, but I have done a lot of duels with different traits, and most of my duels I win. So with Demonic Appetite, this just gives you good sustained, it heals you, gives you Fury, which is needed, the self-heal, the 15% self-heal per shard that you use, and it combos really well with Dark Slash. It's Dark Slash because you'll be gaining as much Fury as you can at first, and then you'll just Dark Slash and get rid of all of it in Chaos Strikes in at once. This will just be proccing the entire time, giving you more Chaos Slashes and healing you at the same time. It's best versus melee characters, I find. For Fellblade, this is a talent you actually want to be taking versus mobile casters like a Hunter or a Ellie Shaman or a Mage. The reason why is because that obviously just helps you stick to your target straight up. The 110 tier, Sucessull Appetite, is actually a rinse repeat of the legendary ring, as you can see, Demon's Bite. So essentially what this does is it just gives you more Fury on your Demon's Bite, gives you more sustained damage, which isn't that great in my opinion. You also have to be on a target to be getting this Fury, which also isn't that great. When you're on a target, you want to be spamming Chaos Strikes as a Demon Hunter right now. You don't want to be trying to generate a super bunch of Fury. The same logic applies to Demon's Blade. So with Demon's Blade, you have to be on a target to be generating Fury. It does a decent amount of shadow damage per proc, and it gives you a small amount of Fury. However, you could, if you really wanted to, you could combo this with obviously your Anger of Half Giants, and you could get quite a bit of Fury from it, but again, you have to be on a target to do that, and as Demon Hunter, you have fewer slows than you once did. This does combo in with Blind Fury, Soul Rending, and Demonic though, because you're in Metamorphosis quite often and you get increased haste. So with Immolation Aura, it gives you guaranteed 80 Fury over 10 seconds. So with Immolation Aura, what you actually want to be doing is before the duel, you just pop it, start generating Fury, and you can just get right into it. It is a decent amount of damage, 400 for proc. As you can see in the tooltip, I like that the tooltips are actually accurate now, instead of what they were in Legion. So the reason why I take this is because even while you're being kited, you will be generating Fury, which is really important, because when you do get on your target, if you stun them or slow them, when you do connect to the target, you want to Dark Slash and then just pump out all of your Fury at once. However, with these talents, when you're kited, you get 0 Fury. So if I'm stuck in a route right now, I can just pop my Immolation Aura, and guess what? My Fury's going up. I almost have max Fury just because of Immolation Aura. I'd be in combat too, so I wouldn't be losing Fury. And you know, I'm max Fury just from that one ability, bam, and then I just, when I do get out of the CC, I'm on them, just spamming damage immediately. There's no downtime, there's no, okay, I finally got out of the CC, now I have to generate Fury, and then I can start doing damage. It's just right away, which is why Immolation Aura is so strong right now. So for the next tier, we have Trial of Ruin. This is a talent you want to be taking against rogues and other classes that can stealth like a Feral Druid. The reason why is because when you're fighting those classes, they will always kick your Fel Barrage, and Trial of Ruin keeps them from re-stealthing. A rogue can't re-stealth with the dot from Blade Dance unless they pop a Cloak, because it's chaos damage now. So, and also chaos damage ignores armor. So what they did is they took the Bloodlet Blade and they put it on Blade Dance instead with this talent, and they made it magic damage, so now it ignores armor, which Bloodlet didn't used to. But I do prefer Bloodlet in the past. So this is very good for duels versus rogues and ferals. Fel Mastery is shit. It does no damage right now, and you don't want to be using your Fel Rush for damage. You want to be using it for mobility, to kite and to stick on a target, whatever's happening in your duel at the time. The next talent is Fel Barrage, and now they did change this, so instead of it being a main targeted ability where it would go straight over to my target right now and then splash to whatever enemies are around it. Instead, imagine there's a circle on my character around them about 8 yards out. So about, if I'm in the center here, you can see these 4 squares. That's about 8 yards, or a little bit farther than that would be 8 yards. But what that does is it actually makes the Fell Barrage like a consecration. It's just a circle of damage. As you can see, it's not hitting either of these dummies because I'm not within the range. But if I were to stand right here, it would hit them. So what this means is you want to be using Fell Barrage versus, or you want to, the way you want to use Fell Barrage is instead of kiting and pressing it, you want to be in their face when you're pressing it. So you want to Fell Rush and then press Fell Barrage. You'll be up on them, you can get the momentum damage increase for it, so it'll be doing around 9,000 damage. As you can see, I'll show you real quick. Yeah, 9,000 damage, which is a lot. Just so you know, it's a lot of damage right now. I only have 30k HP. So you'll just rush in there, you'll press your Fell Barrage and it'll do a bunch of damage. You don't want to be using Fell Barrage versus melee in 1v1s. And the reason why is because you have to be on them essentially to hit them with it, and they'll just kick it. And then it's a 1 minute cooldown that's wasted. Versus most melee, you'll want to take Trial of Ruin. However, Fell Barrage can still work. Especially if you bait out one of their kicks or something. And it's even stronger in Arena. Trial of Ruin does, however, over the course of a minute, because this doesn't actually get the on-hit reduced cooldown that it used to in Legion, Trial of Ruin does out-damage it overall. So for the next tier, Netherwalk, you want to be using it 3v3 most of the time. It's very good against casters. Desperate Instincts, the same thing as Netherwalk. It's just very strong. You can't get one shot very easily. You'll always have some very powerful defensive. Netherwalk, however, you can use it to if you see a cast ball flying through the air, see a full moon coming at you, just Netherwalk it. And a trick most people don't know, if you actually watch my other videos, which I share quite a bit of tricks in, you can bandage while you're in Netherwalk, which is really powerful. And another trick is you can shadow meld while Netherwalk too. So you can Netherwalk, shadow meld. The Netherwalk will keep the meld from breaking because it immunes you to all damage. And let's say it's versus a lock, right? So they have 3 UAs on you. Those will fall off and you'll just be melted. You'll be out of combat. Very powerful. Soul Rending, very good. 10% leech is actually quite a bit. Heals you a lot. Obviously, Metamorphosis has 20% baseline leech. This gives you 10% passive and then another 10% overall. So, you get around 50% leech or 40% leech. Yeah, 40%, which is quite a bit. It's quite a bit right now. It heals you a good chunk. It's very strong. It's what I take this typically in all duels. Soul Rending. For the next tier, we'll start with Cycle of Hatred. This is essentially the legendary headpiece reworked into a talent, just like how Insatiable Hunger was. And it's very bad overall is what I find. It could be good in PvE, but it's not good at PvP, and the reason for that is because it's a 40% chance for Chaos Strike to refund the Fury in the first place. So it's RNG based off the bat, and then it's only a 3-second cooldown reduction, right? The main problem with that is in PvP you're not going to be on a target with 100% uptime. So when you're spamming Chaos Strikes, if they kite you, well guess what? You're not getting any Cycle of Hatred procs, so you're wasting valuable efficiency essentially, right? So it's not that worth. When I did it on a dummy, I got about 40-second cooldown reduction. Of course, that's heavily RNG dependent. You could get more, you could get less, which is why it's bad. First Blood is very strong, gives you better survivability versus melee. Because it's just a reduced cost on First Blood, it makes it easier to use. Of course, you tend to get in the habit of using it for damage when you take this talent, but overall, it's okay. You want to be taking this against melee most of the time, of course, in conjunction with Trial of Ruin. But it's still not the best talent in my opinion. Most of the time, I would take, of course, Dark Slash. So Dark Slash, how you're going to be playing with this ability is you're going to be Fury dumping, right? So what you want to do is you'll get your full Fury, right? You just get the max Fury, and when you connect to a target, you Fell Rush in, Dark Slash, you spam out all of your Chaos Strikes at the same time, right? And of course your Chaos Strikes are going to be proccing Demonic Appetite, which in turn allows you to Chaos Strike again, pretty much most of the time. You're also going to be getting a lot of Fury from Retreat and Immolation Aura, so you can just spam out so many. unlimited fury with this build, right? Almost unlimited fury if you play it right. And every 20 seconds when you connect to an enemy, you can just do crazy chunk burst damage, which is why overall it's the best. Right now, 40% is a lot to Chaos Strike. Spammable 2k damage, essentially. Yeah, spammable to do 2k damage. It also works in conjunction, obviously, with your Metamorphosis, giving you even higher burst potential. So for the next tier, you have Unleashed Power. This is probably going to be what's best in PvE, just because it reduces the cost of Chaos Nova right now. And how you want to view Chaos Nova is it's essentially just a heal for you. You want to be hitting multiple targets with it and getting the heals from it. That's all you care about. The damage is garbage, and the stun is even worse. It's a 2-second AoE stun. Like, come on, Blizzard. Come on. Why does it even exist? Your next tier is Master of the Glaive. You want to be using this against mobile casters or people you want to stick to, like a mobile healer, like a Mistweaver Monk, for example. The reason why you want to be taking this is it works the exact same way Master of the Glaive used to. It just gives you a slow, which Demon Hunters don't have, which is very annoying in my opinion to not have a slow on this class. But you have crazy mobility to make up for it. Big change is Fell Eruption. So with Fell Eruption, you just straight up stun a target for 4 seconds. It's 4 seconds up from, what was it, 1.5, and then they removed the 100% damage or the 300% damage increase from a target that's immune to stun. But it's a 30-second, 4-second, it's a 30-second cooldown, 4-second stun, which is very powerful. It essentially works really well with Dark Slash, because while someone's kiting you, even while they're kiting you, right? This is why I like this build, because you don't really have to take these talents that help you stick on a target the whole time, right? It's because, let's say it's a mage, right? Oh my god, he's just kiting me, he's kiting me all over the place. During that time, you're generating fury, you stun him. He's like, oh shit, you Fell Rush onto him. You Dark Slash, and you just start spamming out the damage. You connect, and you just chunk the hell out of him as soon as you connect. Next 30 seconds, do the same thing. So it works really well against casters, surprisingly. This is also just great utility overall for peels and for burst. The next tier, Nemesis, is a very strong single target. Of course, you can always just macro it in with your Metamorphosis. They're the same cooldown as long as you use Demonic Origins. And you can just do crazy single target burst. However, it is a very long cooldown, and it only lasts for 30 seconds in PvP. It's pretty much a Demon Hunter's wings, so to say. The next tier is Momentum. Momentum is far better in my opinion. I'm going to explain why. So with Fell Rush, it obviously increases your damage by 6 seconds. It used to be 3 seconds, or 4. It used to be 4 seconds in Legion. 6 seconds now. So just 2 Fell Rushes, and that's 12 seconds of 15% damage. And I already have a third one ready by the time that second Momentum falls off. Wow, look, 3 6-second 15% damage increases, pretty much for free. On top of that, you're getting 80 Fury, which is 8 per second, and then if you combo that with Demolition Aura, you're generating 16 Fury per second that entire time. It's crazy. You're proccing Demonic Appetite, getting even more Fury back. So just from that one combo, I instantly went to full Fury, and I had way more than I needed, right? Because it got capped. That's why Momentum, in my opinion, is the best. It also combos very strongly in with Fell Barrage, because of course you can Momentum Fell Barrage, you can Momentum Fell Eruption as well, and do some chunky range damage. It's just overall very strong. 3 Fell Rushes gives you almost the same, or 5 Fell Rushes gives you almost the same duration as Nemesis, right? It's a bit more, but it gives you almost the same duration of Nemesis, and it's never on a cooldown almost. So for Demonic, this is a much more controversial change. So if I were to go to Demonic, I would go Soul Rending, Demonic, Demon's Blades. And the reason why you do this is because you're going to be in Demonic so often, right, Demonic, that the Demon's Blades will be rocking because you have higher haste while you're in Demon form, right? But you can even combo this further by, of course, using this ring, this legendary ring. One sec, I'm just gonna change my my Legos right here for you guys to show how broken this build is, right? So you're just gonna be doing your normal stuff. You you know, whatever. Of course, as this build, if you do take Demon's Blades, it's kind of chunky. It's kind of like you don't have anything to spam, right? You're just relying. See, I got 60 Fury from one auto attack, another 40 Fury from one auto attack. That's crazy, right? It's because of this OP legendary and comboing it in with Demon's Blades, right? So just go crazy. You're gonna be I-Beam is your main burst image. It gives you full Fury every single time you use it. Then you can use Dark Blade and just start pumping out damage every time you're in meta. You'll essentially be capped on Fury. You can never run out, which is why it's so strong. But play it for yourself, test it for yourself. You'll feel how clunky it is, right? So that's the normal PvP talents going on for there. I'm gonna go over some the normal talents. That's the normal talents done. I'm gonna go over the PvP talents now for you guys. None of them have changed except for some nerfs. In example, Demonic Origins, you get 5% damage increase, which is essentially needed as a Demon Hunter. You can't not take it unless you are 1v1ing in a duel. You can take long meta with Soul Rending and you'll just live Lord. Solitude typically isn't the best unless you're playing with the caster. Reverse magic you want to be using in 3s. Mana Rift if you're playing against an immobile healer. A good combo is to imprison Mana Rift at the same time. It'll proc, break the imprison, and take 8% of their mana. Ooh, bam. If you're 1v1ing in World PvP, you'll take Eye of Leothoris versus a caster, because they'll just end up killing themselves if they spam during their burst. You want to wait until they burst. For instance, you see a Pally pop Winks, put this on him. Every single Judgment, every single Hammer of Wrath, he's taking 5% of his HP. Detainment is, in my opinion, pretty useless. Like, it used to be useless, but now it's better than it's ever been before. Because Imprison is such a long cooldown already, right? You might as well just take Detainment for the 1 minute, 6 second CC on like instant clone, right? If you're in 3s, you might as well take it. Mana Break, again, mainly for 2v2s, or like versus an Arcane Mage, so they just spam out mana. Glimpse, very good for your individual survivability in duels. I take this a lot of the time. And of course, so I'm gonna give you guys a breakdown of the best dueling build right now. Okay, so the best dueling build for Demon Hunter is to take Demonic Appetite, Immolation Aura, Fel Barrage, Soul Rending, Dark Slash, Fel Eruption, Momentum, get rid of Demonic Origins, put on Glimpse, Cover of Darkness, and Rain from Above. This will make you almost unkillable versus every single melee in the game. And when someone tries to kite you, you can, let's say they kite really far, so a monk they're trying to heal, you can actually rain from above and just smack them from across the universe. So that's my Demon Hunter dueling PvP build for you guys, and my opinions on most of the talents that I've done through some testing for the pre-patch. I hope you guys really enjoyed this build. Try not to get too attached to your legendaries because they will be gone, and if you do end up comboing some OP Legos up in here, again, don't get used to it. So, peace.